Okay.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining today. Today we're going to talk about our sponsors Cube84. So thank you very much for Cube84 for sponsoring this particular course. And I have with me today the amazing Laura Mort, and I'll let her introduce herself. We did have Pratibha down to talk as well. However, she hasn't joined for whatever reason. If she jumps in a minute, I'll let her introduce herself as well. My name is Lynn Constantine. I am the Global Customer Success Manager here at Supermums. So following this call, if you would like to discuss further about the training offerings from Supermums, you will be able to book into my Calendly diary, and I will drop the link in towards the end of the session. So Laura, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
I can do that. Yeah. Hi, guys. Nice to meet you all. So my name is Laura Mort, and I am what is known as a cross-cloud architect working at Salesforce. So that's a very convoluted title. It basically means that I work across the breadth of the Salesforce technology stack. So I cover commerce, marketing, platform, and data cloud, obviously, hence why I'm here. And I've been working in the Salesforce ecosystem for about 11 years. So I started off at an end user, joined a consultancy, and now have joined the mothership proper.
Great, thank you very much. I was just admitting Christine, but it won't let me. I don't know whether you can do
I've done it. Yeah, don't worry.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be slightly different than planned because we were going to have different conversations on different slides, but it looks like, Laura, this is going to be all of you. I will, however, add that the discovery session is today, and it will obviously be myself and Laura, unless Pratibha manages to join us. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Supermums' mission. If you don't already know, if you've been under a rock or something and you don't know what we're all about, we have a mission to reduce the gender pay gap, support women returners, increase the diversity of women in tech, increase the financial resilience of families, and address the digital skills gap. We are also huge on women returners, as well as people that have been perhaps doing a career in something else they want to pivot. We welcome everyone at Supermums, although we are Supermums. If you are a dad or a granddad or a grandma or whatever, we welcome everyone. So just to let you know that. So Laura, could you tell me a bit about what you do, please?
Yeah, so from a day job perspective at the moment, I'm just going to admit somebody else, bear with. From a day job perspective, so I work on the pre-sales side of things at the moment. I come from an implementation background, but now sort of working with prospective customers, so no Salesforce footprint, and then some that have got a Salesforce footprint as well. And it's my job to work with those companies to figure out what are their business goals, what are they trying to achieve in their future state, and then what are the challenges that they've got, what are maybe some of the gaps in their capabilities or some of the processes that are slowing them down at the moment. And then what does that mean from a technology perspective, right? Does it mean that actually they haven't got a system which does X, Y, and Z, or maybe they do, but it's not working properly? So I then come in and sort of look at that overall picture, look at the Salesforce technology landscape and say, okay, these are the products, the capabilities where we as Salesforce can help, and how does that integrate into their existing technology landscape? And pretty much every conversation that I'm having at the moment with customers across all different industries has got data cloud coming up in some way, shape, or form. So it is a really hot topic at the moment. And I think also, post-COVID in particular, a lot of organizations during COVID, they had to make that transfer into the digital ecosystem quite quickly. And quite messily, I think sometimes, right? It was a bit, oh God, I've got to get this done. And out of the back of that, I think what we're seeing is that customers, and you'll know this yourselves, guys, right? If you shop online or, you sign up for any kind of marketing newsletter, there is an expectation that businesses are capturing a lot more data about us than ever before. And there's a bit of an expectation there that not only are you going to do right by me as a customer and look after that data, but you're also going to use that data to drive my experience with you as a consumer, right? So it's all about that hyper-personalized, tailored journey that is the expectation of consumers nowadays. And that's kind of where Data Cloud is fitting into the picture. And we'll go into that in a bit more detail on these next slides.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Laura. So this one, it's quite wordy, but it's something that Pratibha had asked me to put on here. But obviously, it's going to be you to do now, Laura, because Pratibha's not here. But I think it is quite wordy, and it does sort of say what it does on the tin. But do you want to just take this this slide, please?
I tell you what.
Yeah.
You want to skip to that first, what is Data Cloud slide, because this is pretty much the talk track to that, I think.
Okay.
So, okay, for anybody that hasn't come across Data Cloud before, or maybe you have, you might have come across it in a completely different guise, because you know at Salesforce, we love to change the name of technology. So you might have previously heard it referred to as Genie. It started life way back, probably about 3-4 years ago now, as C360 Audiences for Marketing Cloud. I'm going to pause on that point and just around the marketing piece in particular, because when we talk about things like CDPs, and that's what Data Cloud falls into as a capability, CDP is Customer Data Platform, okay? And traditionally, that was very marketing focused. It was all about driving Facebook activation for social media posts. It was all about sending the right content at emails when a customer's done a specific action on your website. What we're trying to do with Data Cloud is, rather than just focusing on it from that marketing lens, is looking at how we can put data into the hands of all of those different business users across the whole of that customer journey. So whether you work in sales, or whether you work in service, or whether you work even to an extent in HR, any of those different departments, and how those different departments can then use that data to drive any of their processes or actions. So it's really about putting data into the hands of those ordinary business users and really baking it into that customer journey. Because when you think about a typical customer journey, if any of you have shopped online or been into a grocery store, right? Typically that journey, if you think about point A and then point Z, that's not a straight line. You're going to have interactions with lots of different departments across that journey. So you might start off in marketing, then you end up in customer service because something isn't working properly. Then you go back into commerce and then back into marketing. And that's really difficult for a lot of organizations to understand, not only all of those different touch points, but the context of that different touch point, and what does that mean to the overall relationship with the customer. Okay, so that's the whole point of Data Cloud, is to be able to take all of those different data sources that you're seeing on the left of the screen there, from all of those different systems where it's stored or where the customer's interacting with, bringing it all together and then putting it into the hands of those business users. And those are just some of the very high level use cases that you can see underneath each of those different departments. So that could be things like, from a sales perspective, being able to cross-sell or upsell opportunities because you know what products somebody's previously bought, or what their affinities are. So maybe they've got a real passion for things like running. They always buy things in navy blue when their birthday's coming up, as an example.
I love an analogy. Okay, so how Data Cloud works, activation.
Right.
You again, please.
Okay, it's me again.
Yeah.
And please don't be scared of this slide. Okay, it is more of a technical overview of what we've just talked about, but it gives you an idea of when we're talking about Data Cloud. These are the different steps or the different processes that we tend to bucket Data Cloud capabilities into, okay? So I'm just going to start on the left-hand side of the screen here, and data sources. So if you think about your typical business, your typical company, they have got lots and lots and lots of different systems that they're using to drive those different processes, right? I used to work in customer service way back in the day, and I can remember having to swivel chair across so many different applications to try and understand who this customer was, what's their order, what are their complaints, and all of those different data sources. The structure of that data was all very different. So data that lives in let's say Salesforce Sales Cloud, the objects that represent the customer and then the attributes that you're capturing might be very different to what you've got in your ERP system, for example. And that's very difficult for a day-to-day user to understand, right? To make sense of those relationships. So with Data Cloud, what you can do is you can take data from all of those different data sources that we've got on the left there, and we've bucketed that up. So that could be things like just your CRM applications. It could be things like your cloud data storage, so your Amazons, your Azures, your Google Cloud platforms, and then also things like behavioral data that's happening in real time on your website, for example. So if you've got a customer that's browsing your storefront, they're clicking around, they're interacting, you can bring that data in real time. You've then got the ability, so focusing on this second column now, to manipulate that data a little bit, because the idea being we want to bring all of those different data points together into a single data model that's very easy to understand and then to use in downstream systems, okay? So maybe that data isn't coming in straight away in the format that you need it to. Maybe you've got phone numbers that are coming in and, you know, some of them have got +44, some have got 0044. So you need to do a little bit of cleaning and tweaking to that data before you put it into the data model. So that's that preparation stage. And then if any of you have worked with Marketing Cloud as an example before, in Marketing Cloud, you've got this concept of business units. So it's a way to organize and separate maybe different brands, example, for a company. So let's take an example. If you're an Asda, you've got George associated to Asda as well. And George do different branding, they do different marketing, they've maybe got different customer service processes. So it's a way to separate that data out and only make the data visible to the users who actually need it. And once you've done all that preparation, you can then get into the modeling side of things, right? I've got all of this data. I need to map it to what's called a canonical data model, okay? And a canonical data model is just a standardized data model with a set of out-of-the-box objects. So let's say individual product, for example. You can add to it. So if what comes out of the box with Data Cloud does not 100% fit your business, you can add new objects, you can add new attributes. It's typical Salesforce, it's there to be extended, okay? But the idea being one consistent data model, and then off of the back of that, once you've got all of your attributes about your customer, you can start to define rules around, okay, how do I know that this customer that's coming to me from my commerce website is the same one that's coming through my marketing platform, or is the same one that's downloaded my Android app? And that's the whole purpose of Unify, is to give you a view of what we call a unified customer profile, right? So with the latest or the most prioritized attributes about one person, regardless of what data source they've come from. So if you've done anything around Salesforce Sales or Service Cloud, or you've done your admin cert, you'll know that there are capabilities around matching rules in there and deduplication work. Data Cloud doesn't dedupe records, but it gives you the ability to kind of merge the view, right? So you're just looking at like a single pane of glass. And you can define match rules within Data Cloud to say, right, if somebody's got kind of a first name, they've got exactly the last name, they've got this email address, and actually I want to make sure that they've got a device ID as well from the Android app that they've downloaded. You can define a match rule so that when all of those different data points comes in, Data Cloud will run and say, right, this is a representation of Lynn Constantine. Yeah, makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Can I just at this point say welcome to Pratibha, because it's nice to see you have managed to join us. We know that it was very early where you are. So I don't know if you would like to take on the next slide and just let us know what does a day look like for you, please.
Thank you so much, Lynn and Laura. So, hey, I'm Pratibha. Like, I'm work as a Salesforce consultant, like, implementing and delivering like Salesforce projects. So what does a day look like for me? Like, I work on the delivery side of things, which means Salesforce implementations at a high level. So I will be dealing with anything like, discovery session on early on a project to see like if we are implementing a project, what is the right fit for for a company, what do they need, and that gives us like a snapshot of what we want, and then all the way, like it is like a cycle, like after discovery, like it's going to be like implementing, and we just start like creating story, work with the business users, like create stories. Then we get into like technical solutioning. So what would be the right solution in Salesforce ecosystem, whether we need integrations and all of that. Then once we have those stories mapped out, then we will start our sprint planning, and then we work with the business users, project manager, and everybody, like sprint plan our stories, then implement those stories, and just and then we start the cycle like that. So we work with the testing team to test, and all the end users to do UAT testing. Finally, to release the stories into the production org. I might need to like deal with DevOps, like deploying to different org, depending on the client side. So that's kind of the high level of what my day looks like.
Great, thank you very much. And where are you based, Pratibha? I didn't actually ask you that.
I'm based in California, in the United States.
Wow, amazing. Amazing. You probably got lovely sunshine there. We haven't got any here today. And
Sorry.
I will just add that the SDC 101, which is the consultant course, I'll talk to you a little bit about the training side of it in a second. But just to say that if you're an organisation or you're part of an organisation looking to train up your team, then we can absolutely have a conversation about that. And of course, if you're looking to train as an individual also. So in terms of the course, just to give you a bit of an insight, the course starts week commencing the 18th of September. It is over 3 weeks, and it's 2 sessions per week on a Wednesday and Thursday, and it will be from 6 till 9:30 BST. As I said before, we welcome everyone onto all of our courses. If it's something you would like to discuss in more detail, then as I said before, I'm going to drop my Calendly link in and my email address for any questions as far as that's concerned. If you are planning to enroll to our next course, the deadline to enroll is the 30th of August. Again, just so that you know that. So in terms of what certainly would you like to work towards, as I said, the particular one that we're talking about today in terms of our next course is the SDC 101, as I just mentioned previously. So let me just, again, it just tells you the cost there, and it says enroll by the 23rd. However, we have extended that to the 30th because there's quite a lot of interest just to ensure that people get their names down in time. So this is the way that the course will run, and I don't know whether you wanted to add anything to that. Perhaps Laura, did you want to add, you know, what the sort of course entails? Would that be something you could do for us?
Yeah, I can absolutely do that. So the course is kind of broken down to pretty much how that diagram was displayed that we were going through. So kind of session 1 is really just focusing on that high level, what is data cloud, and then introducing this concept of 360 data models. So obviously Salesforce capability has got data models that come with it out of the box. What does that mean from data cloud? And then you just work through week by week, step by step. What does it look like to ingest? So connecting those different data sources, ingesting them into data cloud, going through that identity resolution and the harmonizing, so the creation of that unified profile. And then also, what can you do off of the back of that? So being able to do things like creating insights based off of that data that you're capturing, so things like lifetime value. And then also from a marketing perspective, being able to do things like create segments off of the back of that data, and also doing things like data actions. So being able to trigger an action in the CRM, for example, off of the back of something that's happened in Data Cloud. So it really kind of takes you through that flow step by step.
Thank you for that. So has anyone got any questions specifically? I'm going to stop sharing so that I can just drop some links in. So if anyone has a specific question, if you'd like to know who you're directing it at, just let us know. You can either put it in the chat or of course speak it, whatever you prefer. So over to you. I'll just drop these links in while you think about your questions, as I say, if anyone has any.
And also, there's no such thing as a stupid question. I'm just going to point that out.
I love that. If we don't get any, it means you've done a great job here. Oh, here we go. So from Astrid, it says, how many end users, hang on one sec, I've lost it. How many end users have implemented Data Cloud? I don't know who wants to take that. Laura, maybe?
We are probably up to, from a company perspective, maybe 600 or 700 now, I think. But I probably need to double check that, but there's a lot in flight as well, which I'm not bouncing.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, I think somebody else, I think Sunil, were you just about to ask a question? Sorry, just to say, did that answer your question, Astrid, first of all?
So was the question about how many customers have implemented Data Cloud? How many?
That's the question.
Great. So as per the last report file or announced by Salesforce, they have about 1,000 customers in the Data Cloud space. So that's the number. So Laura, your number was pretty close there.
Yeah.
So that number might have gone up right now, and it's expected to go up.
Yeah.
Right.
It's definitely a word on everybody's lips for sure. Everyone that I speak to seems to be talking about Data Cloud for sure.
Absolutely. And AI is the future, and AI can only be as good as the data underneath AI. So Data Cloud is the piece which is going to bring that data for the AI to work better. So this is the future.
Great, thank you. Thank you. Is there any other questions? And as I say, Astrid, I'm pretty sure that over Laura and Sunil, they've both answered your questions.
Indeed. Thank you so very much.
Okay, has anyone else got any questions?
Hi, thank you so much for the presentation. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Laura. I've done the admin course and I'm currently working as a Salesforce administrator, but is there any other prerequisites for the Data Cloud now?
No prerequisites at all. I mean,
Would you have to have any length of experience?
from an experience perspective, I wouldn't necessarily say that there are any prerequisites. I think it would probably help to have a base understanding of marketing cloud as a capability, but again, it depends on the use case. And I think for the purposes of the exam, you can pretty much pick up what you need to just from following the course content.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your question, and thank you, Laura, for the answer. I've got one here from Asvini. As you said, AI is the future. Does that mean we have to first start with the data cloud and then move to AI skills, or is there an order of as such? Does that make sense?
It does. Do you want to take that one, Sunil, or shall I?
Yeah, I can. So to answer that question, there's really no order in which you need to learn them. But if you ask me where I will start, I'll always start with the data cloud course, because first is that I need to understand how data exists, right? How data can be brought from multiple systems, brought into one place, and then I apply AI on top of it. Right? So that's the best way I would approach it. But if you ask me technically, no, there's no dependency in terms of, or there's no such order that you need to follow as such.
And I'd probably just add to that, if you're thinking about AI holistically, and I appreciate this is not an AI course, but you also have to bear in mind that AI has been around for a very long time. And when we talk about data cloud and AI, we're talking more about generative AI capabilities. So the ability to create something new via AI, right? There are a lot of AI capabilities that are already baked into the Salesforce platform that focus more on the predictive side of things, which don't necessarily require something like data cloud. So that's absolutely something that you can also kind of have a look into as well.
Okay, and I'm just going to add in, as it's been mentioned, we have got I have got a session on Wednesday evening at 8:30. That's BST, with Mark Good and Liam, who is our trainer. So if that's something that you would like to listen to, I've put the link there for you. It says 8 p.m, but I'm pretty sure it's 8:30. But when you go to sign into it, it will tell you. I'm pretty sure it's 8:30. So if anybody would like to listen into that, then please do. So Asvini, sorry, did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Okay.
And out of the box, like, will this be recorded? Because then, because I missed the first bit of it, and will it be uploaded in the portal?
Yeah. So what will happen is we will email it out to everyone that has signed up.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Anything from anyone else? Oh, okay. So Astrid has said, what would be required to specialize in as meeting the hiring criteria of a data cloud consultant? Would like to ascertain, right, okay, sorry, I'm reading it. I'm sort of reading as with the full stops and things. So what would be required to specialize in the potential of doing a certification from an employability perspective? I think that's the actual question. I don't know whether, Pratibha, do you want to take that? Do you want to take that question?
Yeah, that's a good question. So first of all, like the data cloud space is evolving, right? So there are by like definition, they can split the, like if you look at the space, it can be split into different roles, like data cloud admin or data cloud, like there are different areas to data cloud, like people can specialize in segmentation, insights building and all of that. So holistically, if there's one person who needs to do everything, then you probably need some SQL, like data transformation skills, like SQL, other than like your ingestion, just because like everything else is like pretty straightforward. So from a skills perspective, once you learn data cloud and you want to become a data cloud consultant, or one person who does everything, so you probably need to learn some SQL skills as well to help.
Okay, thank you. But I guess to get the
yeah, so
sorry, carry on.
But for the certification, like I know like familiarity with Salesforce always helps. admin certification is a great start. And then I have taken data cloud certification. I don't come from a marketing background, so I come from Salesforce. So it always helps to have familiarized with the platform, always helps. And just Trailhead is really awesome. It gives you like the foundation for like theory, and also like allows you to like have trialogues, and then you can always do hands-on stuff to be able to like understand deeper. So certification always helps.
Thank you. Okay, perfect. That obviously answered your question. Anything from anyone else? Okay, there's that silence. So I'm guessing that there's nothing from anyone else. I have dropped my link in to my email address. So if you've got any questions whatsoever about the training, anything a little bit more technical, as you know, I've got a great team here that I can, I'm sure, tap into and get answers for you. But if you want any specific information about the training course that we offer, please feel free to drop me an email, or like I say, book in. We can have a one-to-one session. It's normally a 30-minute session. I can go through where you are now, where you plan to be, and we'll work a plan out for you. So I hope that answered everyone's questions today. I would like to firstly thank Laura, who's been here for the duration. Pratibha, thank you so much as well for joining. And Sunil, thank you very much. Who knew? We're really grateful to have you here also. And obviously to everyone else that's joined. And I hope you found the session really useful. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.